Chosen one, a sense of unease has settled in your heart, like a faint whisper growing louder with each passing moment. This is not an ordinary discomfort. It's a divine wake-up call, a stirring of your spirit that you can no longer ignore. Perhaps you felt distant from God, doubting His grace, questioning His plans, or feeling as though you've been overlooked. But tonight, this stirring is your reminder. God is calling you back to Him. This wake-up call is not about condemnation, it's about love. Just as a parent gently wakes a child who is in danger of missing something important, God is reaching out to you with urgency. He sees the moments when you've doubted, the times when you've questioned your worthiness, and the fears that have kept you from fully trusting Him. Yet even in those moments, His love for you has never wavered. He is not angry because He has abandoned you. He is displeased because He wants more for you than you've allowed yourself to receive. Doubts are a part of the human experience, and God understands this. But His wake-up call today is a reminder that your doubts do not define you, and they do not diminish His grace. Instead, they are an opportunity for you to lean into Him more deeply, to rediscover the depth of His love and the abundance of His promises. In this moment, He is calling you to open your heart and listen, to pause the noise of your mind and hear His gentle voice. Chosen one, reflect on how far you've come. Think of the times when God's grace carried you, even when you didn't recognize it. Remember the prayers He answered, the doors He opened, and the ways He provided for you in moments of uncertainty. These memories are not just reminders of His faithfulness. They are evidence that His grace has always been active in your life, even when you doubted it. This wake-up call is not a moment to dwell on guilt or regret. It's an invitation to realign yourself with God's heart. It's a chance to step out of the shadows of doubt and back into the light of His presence. God is not looking at you with condemnation, but with longing. He desires to restore the connection that doubt has strained and to remind you that His grace is still available to you, unearned, undeserved, and unwavering. Take a moment, chosen one, to acknowledge this stirring in your soul. It is not by accident that you feel this way. God is reaching out to you, inviting you into a deeper relationship and calling you to let go of the doubts that have weighed you down. This wake-up call is your opportunity to respond, to say, "Lord, I hear you, and I am ready to return." Chosen one, as you reflect on this divine wake-up call, you may feel the weight of distance between you and God. This distance isn't physical, it's spiritual, an invisible chasm created by doubt, fear, and the struggles of life. But know this, the distance you feel is not permanent, and it is not insurmountable. God is calling you to confront this distance, not to shame you, but to bring you closer to Him. In your moments of doubt, you may have questioned whether God's grace was truly enough for you. Perhaps you've wondered if you've strayed too far, or if your mistakes have disqualified you from His love. These thoughts are the lies that distance creates, whispering that you are unworthy or forgotten. But tonight, God is silencing those lies. He is reminding you that His grace is greater than your doubts, His love stronger than your fears, and His presence closer than you realize. Confronting the distance begins with honesty. Be honest with yourself and with God about the doubts and fears that have kept you from fully embracing His grace. Perhaps you've doubted because of unanswered prayers, setbacks, or feelings of inadequacy. Whatever the reason, lay it before Him. God is not afraid of your doubts. He invites you to bring them to Him so that He can address them with His truth. This is also a moment to recognize that the distance you feel is not a reflection of God's absence, but of your perspective. He has never left you. Even in your moments of doubt, His presence has been constant, His grace unchanging. Psalm 139, verse 7-10 reminds us, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast." Chosen one, as you confront this distance, allow yourself to feel the warmth of God's love drawing you back. Picture Him standing with open arms, not as a judge, but as a loving Father, eager to welcome you home. This is a moment of reconciliation, a chance to bridge the gap and step back into the fullness of His grace. Take a deep breath and pray, Lord, I feel distant, but I know you are near. Help me to let go of the doubts that have separated us and to trust in your unwavering love. I want to return to you fully, to experience the grace that I know is mine through Christ. Confronting the distance is not a one-time act. It is a process of continually realigning your heart with God's. But tonight marks the beginning of that journey. With each step you take, the distance will shrink, and the connection you long for will be restored. Trust that God is already meeting you halfway, eager to draw you closer and remind you of the chosen one you truly are. Chosen one, as you begin to confront the distance between you and God, a divine invitation is extended to you. An invitation to surrender. This is not surrender in the sense of defeat. It is a surrender of trust, a letting go of the burdens you've carried and the doubts that have held you captive. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you are choosing to place everything into God's hands. Surrender is not easy. It requires vulnerability, humility, and the willingness to release control. You may feel a natural resistance to this invitation, wondering what it means to let go and what will happen if you do. But remember, surrendering to God is not about losing. It is about gaining. It is about exchanging your limited perspective for His infinite wisdom, while your fears for His peace, and your doubts for His unwavering promises. God's invitation to surrender is not a demand but a gentle call. He does not force you into submission. He invites you into freedom. In Matthew 11:28-30, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." This is the heart of surrender, finding rest in God's presence, knowing that you no longer have to carry the weight of the world on your own. As you consider this invitation, reflect on the things you've been holding on to: fears, doubts, guilt, or even the need to have all the answers. These things may feel familiar, even comfortable, but they are not serving you. They are keeping you from fully experiencing God's grace and walking in the freedom He desires for you. Surrendering them is not about giving up. It is about making space for God to work in your life in ways you could never imagine. Chosen one, as you take this step of surrender, know that God's arms are open wide, ready to receive everything you bring to Him. You don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to fix everything on your own. Surrender is not about your ability. It is about your willingness to trust that God is able. Let this act of surrender be a turning point, a moment where you choose to release what you cannot control and place your faith fully in Him. Pray this simple prayer: Lord, I surrender. I release my fears, my doubts, and my need for control. I trust you with every part of my life, knowing that your plans are greater than mine. Help me to walk in the freedom of your grace and to rest in the assurance of your love. Chosen one, as you surrender, something extraordinary begins to happen. The connection with God that once felt distant is being restored. This is not a gradual process. It is immediate and profound. The moment you let go of your doubts and open your heart to Him, you feel His presence flood into your life. It's as if a veil has been lifted, and you can see, feel, and hear Him more clearly than ever before. Reconnection with God is not just a feeling. It's a transformation. It changes the way you see yourself, the way you approach challenges, and the way you interact with the world. You begin to realize that the distance you felt was never about God moving away from you. It was about the walls your doubts had built. Now, with those walls coming down, you are stepping into a relationship that is vibrant, dynamic, and life-giving. This reconnection is deeply personal. God doesn't approach you with generic words or distant gestures. He meets you where you are, speaking directly to your heart in ways that only you can understand. Perhaps it's through a verse of Scripture that suddenly resonates with new meaning, a quiet whisper in your spirit, or a sense of peace that settles over you. However He speaks, it is clear, intimate, and unmistakable. Reconnecting with God also reignites your sense of purpose. You begin to remember why you were chosen in the first place, not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are in Him. You are reminded of the unique gifts and calling He has placed on your life, and you feel a renewed determination to walk in that purpose. Ephesians 2 verse 10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." This truth begins to take root in your heart, reminding you that your life is part of a much greater story. Chosen one, this reconnection is also a source of strength. Life will still have its challenges, but now you face them with the assurance that God is with you. His presence is your anchor, His word your guide, and His love your motivation. This connection is not something you have to earn or maintain through your own efforts. It is a gift, freely given and sustained by His grace. As you bask in this renewed connection, take time to reflect on how far you've come. You've moved from doubt to trust, from distance to intimacy, and from fear to faith. This journey has not been easy, but it has been worth it. And now, as you stand in the light of God's presence, you feel a deep sense of gratitude for His patience, His love, and His unwavering faithfulness. Let this reconnection fuel your days ahead. Nurture it through prayer, scripture, and quiet moments in His presence. Share it with others, letting your renewed faith be a testimony of God's power to restore and redeem. Chosen one, you are not just walking with God, you are walking in His grace, His love, and His purpose. This reconnection is a gift, and it will continue to transform your life in ways beyond your imagination. Chosen one, as the journey of reconnection continues, one truth becomes undeniable. God's grace is greater than anything you've ever imagined. In this sacred moment, you begin to rediscover the magnitude of that grace, a grace that has never left you, even in your darkest moments of doubt. Grace is not a concept to understand, but a gift to experience. And tonight, you are being invited to immerse yourself in its fullness. God's grace is the foundation of your identity as a chosen one. It is the reason you are called, the strength that sustains you, and the promise that secures your future. This grace is not earned. It is freely given. It is not contingent on your performance, but rooted in God's character. He extends it to you, not because of who you are, but because of who He is. A God of mercy, compassion, and relentless love. As you reflect on the times you've doubted, you begin to see that God's grace was present even then. When you questioned His plans, He patiently waited for you to see His faithfulness. When you felt unworthy, His grace reminded you that His love is not based on merit. When you felt distant, His grace quietly reached out, drawing you closer. Every step of the way, His grace has been the thread that holds your story together. Rediscovering this grace brings with it a profound sense of relief and freedom. You no longer need to strive for perfection or carry the weight of self-imposed expectations. God's grace assures you that you are enough, not because of what you've done, but because of what He has done for you. Ephesians 2:8-9 beautifully captures this truth. For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith. And this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. This rediscovery also transforms your perspective on your journey. You begin to see your struggles, doubts, and even failures as opportunities for God's grace to shine. What once felt like a setback now feels like a setup for God to display His power. Grace doesn't erase the challenges you face, but it changes the way you face them. It gives you confidence, knowing that God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. Chosen one, as you rediscover God's grace, let it reshape the way you live. Let it inspire gratitude, fuel your faith, and guide your interactions with others. Grace is not just something to receive, it is something to share. As you walk in the light of this grace, you become a living testimony of God's love and goodness. Your life becomes a reflection of the grace that has transformed you, offering hope to those who may be struggling in their own journeys. Take this moment to thank God for His grace. Let it sink deeply into your heart, renewing your spirit and restoring your faith. You are not just a recipient of grace, you are a vessel of it, carrying its transformative power into every corner of your life. This rediscovery is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of a new chapter, one marked by the overwhelming, unshakable, and life-changing reality of God's grace. Chosen one, as God's grace envelops you, another miracle begins to unfold, the healing of your heart. Doubts, fears, and wounds that once weighed you down are now being gently lifted. This is not a rushed process, but a tender one, guided by the hands of the Creator, who knows every broken place within you and is committed to restoring you completely. Healing is deeply personal, and it looks different for everyone. For you, it might involve letting go of past hurts, forgiving yourself for perceived failures, or releasing the guilt you've carried for doubting God's plans. Whatever the specifics, this healing is a sacred act of love. God is not just mending the surface. He is reaching into the depths of your soul, addressing the roots of your pain, and bringing wholeness to every part of your being. As this healing takes place, you begin to feel lighter. The burdens you've carried for so long, burdens you may not have even realized were there, start to dissipate. The tightness in your chest, the weight on your shoulders, and the heaviness in your spirit are being replaced with peace, freedom, and joy. Psalm 147:3 reminds us, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Tonight, that promise is being fulfilled in your life. This healing is not just emotional, it is spiritual. God is renewing your trust in Him, showing you that His plans for you are good and His love for you is unchanging. The doubts that once clouded your faith are being replaced with a sense of assurance, a deep knowing that you are held in the hands of a God who is for you and not against you. You are reminded that healing is not just about removing pain, but about restoring you to the fullness of who God created you to be. As your heart heals, you may find yourself shedding tears, not of sadness, but of relief and gratitude. These tears are a release, a physical manifestation of the healing that is taking place within you. Let them flow, chosen one, for they are part of the process. They are a sign that God is working, that His grace is reaching the places you thought were beyond repair. This healing also equips you to move forward with confidence. No longer weighed down by past wounds, you are free to step into your calling with boldness and clarity. You begin to see that even the pain you've experienced has a purpose. It has shaped you, strengthened you, and prepared you to be a source of hope for others. Your healing becomes a testimony, a reminder that no hurt is too deep and no wound too great for God to restore. Chosen one, embrace this healing with an open heart. Trust the process, even if it feels slow or uncertain at times. God is not in a hurry. He is thorough, ensuring that every part of you is renewed and restored. As you leave this chapter behind, carry with you the assurance that your heart is being made whole, and with it, your spirit is being equipped for the incredible journey ahead. You are not just healed, you are being transformed, prepared to live a life that reflects the grace, love, and power in who has called you by name. Chosen one, as the divine process of healing continues, you begin to feel a new strength rising within you, a strength you didn't realize you possessed. This is not your own doing, it is the power of God working in you, fortifying your heart, mind, and spirit. This strength is not about physical might or personal willpower. It is about resilience, courage, and an unwavering confidence that comes from trusting in God's promises. For so long, you may have felt fragile, burdened by doubt, fear, or the weight of past failures. But now, as God restores you, you feel the foundations of your faith being rebuilt, stronger than ever before. Isaiah 40:31 declares, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not be faint." This renewal is happening within you, empowering you to face challenges with boldness and grace. This newfound strength doesn't mean life will suddenly be without difficulties. Instead, it equips you to navigate those difficulties with a steady spirit and a clear perspective. You begin to realize that your strength is not about avoiding struggles, but about enduring them with faith and determination. It is the kind of strength that allows you to stand firm in the face of adversity, knowing that God is your refuge and shield. As this strength grows, you notice a shift in how you approach life. Decisions that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach now feel attainable. Relationships that once felt strained now feel infused with hope. This is the power of God's strength. It transforms not only your inner world, but also the way you engage with the world around you. Chosen one, this strength is also a gift for others. As you walk in God's power, you become a source of encouragement and inspiration to those around you. People will notice your resilience, your peace, and your ability to remain grounded in the midst of life's storms. They may not fully understand it, but they will feel drawn to it, sensing that there is something divine at work within you. This strength is not fleeting, it is enduring. It is a reminder that you are never walking this journey alone. God's Spirit dwells within you, empowering you to overcome obstacles and fulfill the purpose He has placed on your life. Lean into this strength, chosen one. Let it be your anchor, your foundation, and your assurance as you move forward into the next chapter of your journey. Chosen one, as strength takes root in your spirit, something extraordinary begins to happen. The flame of your purpose is rekindled. For a time, this flame may have felt dim, flickering under the weight of doubt and uncertainty. But now, in God's presence, it burns brightly once again, illuminating the path ahead with clarity and passion. Purpose is a powerful thing. It gives meaning to your days, direction to your efforts, and joy to your soul. Tonight, as you sit in this sacred moment, God is reminding you of the purpose He designed specifically for you. This is not a vague or generic calling. It is unique, tailored to your gifts, experiences, and the needs of the world around you. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Your purpose is not an afterthought, it is part of God's intentional plan for your life. As the flame of purpose is rekindled, you begin to see your life through a new lens. You realize that every experience you've had, both the joyful and the painful, has been preparing you for this moment. The struggles you've endured have given you empathy and resilience. The victories you've achieved have equipped you with skills and confidence. Even the moments of doubt have taught you the value of faith and the power of grace. This renewed sense of purpose fills you with energy and excitement. You start to dream again, envisioning the ways you can use your gifts to make a difference in the world. Perhaps your purpose involves serving others, creating something meaningful, or sharing your story to inspire those who are struggling. Whatever it may be, you feel a deep conviction that this is what you were created to do. But purpose is not just about action. It is also about being. It is about living in alignment with God's will, allowing His love and light to flow through you in every aspect of your life. It is about being a reflection of His grace, whether you are accomplishing great things or simply being present with those around you. Purpose is not confined to specific tasks or achievements. It is woven into the fabric of who you are. Chosen one, as this flame burns brighter, you may feel a sense of responsibility, not as a burden, but as a holy calling. You understand that your purpose is not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of others and the glory of God. This realization deepens your commitment to living with intention and integrity, knowing that your life has a ripple effect far beyond what you can see. In this moment, take time to pray over your purpose. Ask God for wisdom, guidance, and courage as you step into this calling. Trust that He will provide the opportunities, resources, and strength you need to fulfill it. And remember, purpose is not a destination. It is a journey. Each step you take, no matter how small, is significant and meaningful. Chosen one, the flame of purpose within you is not just rekindled, it is roaring to life. Let it guide you, inspire you, and propel you forward. You are stepping into a chapter of your life marked by clarity, conviction, and impact. Embrace this purpose with all your heart, knowing that it is a reflection of God's love for you and His plan for the world. The flame is yours to carry. Let it shine brightly, illuminating the path not only for yourself, but for all those who are blessed to witness your journey. Chosen one, with your strength renewed and your purpose rekindled, you begin to take the first steps in walking in divine alignment. This is not just about doing the right things, it's about being in sync with God's will for your life. Alignment with God means living in a way where your thoughts, actions, and intentions are guided by His Spirit, bringing clarity and peace to everything you do. When you walk in alignment with God, your steps are ordered. You no longer feel the need to force outcomes or strive in your own strength. Instead, you trust that God is directing your path, weaving everything together for your good and His glory. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds you, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This truth becomes your anchor as you move forward. Walking in alignment doesn't mean the path will always be easy or free of obstacles. Challenges may arise, but your faith keeps you steady. You learn to see setbacks as opportunities for growth and delays as part of God's perfect timing. Your confidence grows not because you know every step ahead, but because you trust the one who does. In this season, you begin to notice the small yet significant ways God is confirming His direction for your life. Divine appointments, unexpected opportunities, and moments of undeniable peace serve as reminders that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You feel a sense of flow, as though everything is falling into place, not because of your effort, but because of your obedience. Walking in divine alignment also brings a new sense of responsibility. You recognize that your actions carry weight and that your choices impact not only your life, but also the lives of others. This awareness inspires you to live with integrity, to treat others with kindness, and to approach every task with excellence. You are no longer simply living for yourself. You are living as a reflection of God's love and purpose. Chosen one, as you continue to walk in alignment, take time to seek God daily. Prayer, Scripture, and quiet moments in His presence become the foundation of your journey. These practices keep you connected to His guidance and ensure that your steps remain aligned with His will. Trust that He is leading you, and embrace this season as one of purpose, clarity, and divine partnership. Chosen one, as you walk in divine alignment, something extraordinary begins to happen. You become a light for others. Your journey, marked by resilience, faith, and purpose, inspires those around you in ways you may not even realize. People are drawn to the peace you carry, the confidence you exude, and the hope that radiates from your spirit. This light is not something you create on your own. It is a reflection of God's presence within you. Jesus said in Matthew 5:14-16, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." You are living out this truth, allowing your life to point others toward God. Your light is most powerful in the moments when you share your story. As you speak about your struggles, doubts, and eventual restoration, others see that they are not alone in their own journeys. Your transparency and authenticity create space for healing and hope. Your willingness to shine a light on your past and the ways God has transformed it becomes a source of encouragement for those who feel lost or broken. This light is also evident in the way you interact with others. Your kindness, patience, and empathy reflect God's love, showing people that they are valued and seen. You don't have to preach to make an impact. Your actions speak louder than words. Whether it's a smile, a kind gesture, or a listening ear, these small acts of love leave a lasting impression. Chosen one, becoming a light for others is not about seeking attention or recognition. It's about living in such a way that people can see God through you. It's about being a vessel for His grace, allowing His light to shine through your words and deeds. This is a high calling, but it is also a joyful one. You are not carrying this light alone. God is the source, and He will ensure it never fades. As you embrace this role, remember to stay rooted in God's presence. The brighter your light shines, the more you need to draw from His strength and wisdom. Seek Him daily and trust that He will continue to guide you. Know that your light has the power to transform not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Chosen one, you are walking in divine alignment and becoming a beacon of hope for others. Your journey is a testament to God's faithfulness, a living example of His ability to restore, renew, and redeem. Embrace this light, let it shine brightly, and trust that God is using you in ways far beyond what you can see. You are chosen, you are called, and your light is making an eternal impact. Chosen one, as you continue to walk in alignment with God and allow His light to shine through you, you begin to realize that your journey is about more than the present moment. It is about leaving a legacy of faith that will ripple through generations and impact lives far beyond your own. Your life, as it is transformed by God's grace, becomes a blueprint for others to follow, a testament to what is possible when someone fully surrenders to God. Legacy is not about monuments or accolades. It is about the quiet, profound impact you leave on the hearts of those you touch. It's in the lessons you impart to your loved ones, the kindness you show to strangers, and the courage you inspire in those who look up to you. Your faith, lived out authentically and boldly, becomes a seed planted in the lives of others, growing into something beautiful over time. The legacy you are building starts with the choices you make today. Every act of obedience, every moment of trust, and every step of faith contributes to a story that will outlive you. Deuteronomy 6:6-7 reminds us, "These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up.